All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 33 of the Road Plays podcast. We have another very strong and special guest on the pod. We have what's your handle, bro? Is it Mr. Dumbthick? Is that what it
Mr. Dumb Thick.
is? Is that what I think it was like Russ was like trying to figure out what your name was, right? Is that what he said?
Yeah, I didn't even know that happened until somebody sent it over to me and was like, I hear him say Mr. Dumb Thick, and I lost it. I lost it.
Yeah, I think I've seen it on your story or someone tagged you in it, but that was hilarious.
Yeah,
Mr. Dumbthick. But no, it's Mr. McDoublethick, right?
McDouble
Yeah,
Thick.
there you go. And he is a thick man indeed. But yeah, for those of you who don't know Anthony just came off of PLA Nationals, put together a disgusting day, to say the least. I think you finally are on a lot of people's radar. But yeah, let me just talk about what you did. So the massive total was 979 kilos, which is about 2153 to 55 pounds at 105. So that's mind-boggling. That breaks the 105 and 120 world record unofficially. And this was what? Was this your first PLA Nationals, right?
My first Open PLA Nationals, yes.
Okay. Yeah, man, that's insane. And what, you're 25 now, right?
Yeah, 25. Yep.
So he's even younger than all of us on the podcast, just out here out totaling weight classes above. But yeah, so that beat the record that was set from 2016 from by Dennis Cornelius in the weight class above you, 120s. It's been a while. How is this kind of like has it sat sinking in yet or
Yeah, it definitely has. It's been when it first happened, I was just kind of like, whoa, like, all right. But now that it's settled down, it's awesome to see things come into fruition. You know what I'm saying? Like you train all this time and it's like, is this worth it? But I'm starting to see like that the work is paying off. It's corny, but it's true.
yeah. Yeah, I remember we were talking about going into that nationals. We kind of did so we do like previews on the show, but we talked a little bit about Euros and then a little bit about PLA nationals. And I don't really think Trevor had even like a really good idea of who you were. We were looking at your page. I was like, this is Shrek. He's very strong. We were looking at your lifts and he's like, damn, like this guy's a beast. And like now you've really put it all together on like the biggest of stages. So yeah, it's really good to see, man. I think I followed you for like what? I don't even know, like 4 years. I think 2020,
Yeah,
2020.
it's
Oh, so
been
maybe five.
yeah. Maybe like wow, it's been a wow.
Yeah, it's
I
been a
haven't
long time, man.
it's been a long time.
Guys are
And
getting old.
yeah, I know. It's not good, eh?
Over, over. 25. What is it? Were you born 2000?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2000.
That's
Yep.
fucked up. Like
Damn.
one of the youngest people we've had on here, I think, actually. Other than like what, Kayla?
Kayla, yeah.
And he's the strongest.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the day that you had at PLA Nets. So you had Keenan, who you're going up against. Ashton was injured, and Bob's not doing it. I think he's committed to the 120. So we knew it was mostly Keenan as like the main rival to get that world spot, but I'm sure there was also a few others. Keenan had competed like earlier, right? But before that, he was talking about how he was going to do like maybe even like 1,000. When you're hearing that kind of talk, like what were you thinking? Do you think like, if he does that, like it might be over? What was your thoughts?
So the first thought was he could definitely do it. I mean, hearing him say that he was feeling his strongest, even coming off that injury and surgery that he had a year prior, when he said that training was going well, I mean, I thought that that was really feasible for him. So in my brain, I was like, oh boy, like, all right, we're gonna have to really, really, really push. And so that was the mindset going into Nats. It was just, all right, head down, trust what's happening here with John, my coach, and just do what I got to do. Whatever he tells me I have to do, get it done, do it 100%. No looking back, like I signed up for this meet, I'm in it. If he wants to raise that bar, all right, I can be willing to hit there or more. So thinking 1,000 kilos for this meet, it was like, oh boy, like I don't know if I got that in me, but I had to kind of like switch that off. And the mindset was whatever he does, I have to beat that. Whether it's 1,000, whether it's 960, whatever it is, we just got to beat that. So
Yeah, man. I mean, that was a big total that he put up. That was over the 105 world record as well. By like, what did he end up putting up? 958 or something?
958 and a half, yeah.
Yeah. So he was already, I think the world record's 940. So he was already a lot above that. You got to go in there and beat that total. I know it wasn't his best, but that's still a massive total to be trying to beat. When you were like looking at, I guess his total, is that when you guys kind of came up with the game plan for like I'm gonna squat this and like no more? Is that what you guys kind of how you approached it?
Yeah. So a few weeks prior to the meet, I went over to my coach's house, John's house, and we were just talking about the game plan, so to say. And he was telling me like 980, like that's a number that you were primed for, you could hit. We're ready for that. And so hearing that, I'm like, really? 980, bro? Like like okay, sure. Let's do it. So he like had this whole game plan ahead of time. I don't know, he's got it all on lock. And it made it very easy for me to kind of just do it to me, if that makes sense. Like I knew what to expect weeks prior, talking to him. We had the whole formula game plan written down. And so all it came to was just executing on the day. Um, Once I saw Keenan put up that total, I not for one second did I say to myself, oh, like, let's just smash that. No. I was like, okay, he hit this, like lock in, lock in. Like we have to just put this into fruition. We have to get every single lift. And how we approached it was basically we took our heavy, like our winning numbers on our seconds. So whatever he hit, we stayed at pace with or best what he did for his thirds just to stay in the meet. Or stay in the competition, so to say. And that really set us up for success. And that's why I was able to kind of hit that 979 because I hit my winning numbers on my seconds and thirds were just extra pickings. So yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
think
I
the third
watched.
kind of looked like second still.
They felt
Yeah,
like him.
Yeah, because
yeah,
you
Yeah,
guys
no, like you were
jumped like
talking about 1,000, and it generally looked like you could do 1,000. Like it looked like you had 10 on the squat, like five, maybe seven on the bench, and then like another 7 or 10 on the deadlift. It was nuts.
Yeah, it felt it too. Usually like you watch a meet recap or like yourself, you go back and you're like, wow, that moved a lot better than it felt. But every lift that I did out there, it felt how it looked. It moved easy. It felt great. Like I've never had a meet like that, honestly.
Yeah, it looked like a very, very chill 979.
Yeah. Yeah.
when you guys loaded that final poll, did you know like because I think I heard you guys knew it was beating Bob's total from the year prior or something like that, but did you know it was also Dennis Cornelius's record? Or did you find
No,
out after?
I found out from Pete Spence afterwards. I had no idea what I just did. I was
That's
like
insane.
loaded up, whatever it is, put on eight something, let's whatever, and I'm gonna pull it. And that was that.
yeah. All of those thirds were so easy. Like I rewatched it again before the podcast, and I like even remember when I was watching because I was out like grocery shopping while you were competing, and I'd like stop whenever you were up, and I'd seen your squat second. I think okay, so like 793, so like just under eight, and I was like, bro, this guy could load like 375 and just dunk it. Like you looked unreal. And then what? They made a 10-pound jump, so 5 keys, right,
Yeah.
for the 804. So yeah, it was all really really easy, and it's scary to see what you're gonna be capable of, man.
It
Yeah,
was
I'm
funny
really
because
excited.
I was watching the session with my girlfriend, and it was just like a lot of the 93s, and there was a couple of 105s in there, right? So she
Yeah.
thought like we were watching the 93 battle, and then all of a sudden you came out and squatted like 800 pounds. She was like, "Who the hell is this guy?" I was like, "He's a 105," but like that's still wild. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I just showed up to the 93 battle.
yeah, that was nuts. That was an awesome session to watch. It was so exciting.
Yeah, it really was. Being back there was crazy.
Yeah.
And for the squats, you had missed, I think at your QT, you missed 804. Was that on depth? Because I know you said you had depth problems in the past, right?
Yeah, yes, that was absolutely on depth. So I was weighing 222 pounds and walking out with 804 pounds, like I just knew on the day I was not gonna sink. It just did not feel right. Everything was shaky. So what we did was we went back to the drawing board with my nutritionist, and we added some extra fluff. We added the calories in, and training just in terms of squats and squat depth, everything just went up. I was consistently hitting depth. I felt like I had a body under me, like I wasn't just like hanging on for dear life. And that seemed to just pay dividends going into nationals. So I knew like coming into nationals, I was not going to have a problem with squat depth because we were just bodying every single squat that we had.
Okay. Yeah, because I had seen on your YouTube, you were talking like months ago, but you were talking about like in between reps, the bar feels like it's controlling me instead of like me having like my footing and being underneath the barbell. And so that's kind of what you mean, right? Like the bar just feels like it's pushing you into the bottom and like it's
Yes.
kind of like more like a sketchy position.
Yep. Yep. And I'd
Yeah.
be falling forward, which would cause me to not hit depth, essentially. I would fall forward onto my toes just because I was so unstable or unstable.
Okay. And then you still weighed in at like 228. So even just like the 3 to 4 pounds like really helped a lot.
It did. And you know what happened? So what we did was we were weighing about a pound or two over for most of our training. So we did a little bit of a gut cut. I ate like a dog the day before the meet, and I was probably like 238 the night before, so over 105. So all I did was we just chopped out the food for like 12, 14 hours. And I kind of just snacked on candy throughout the day, little sips of water and whatnot, but I lost so much weight. It was
Mm.
crazy. I showed up to weigh-ins and I weighed in. I'm like, there's no way I just weighed in like what? Um,
Yeah.
but since like I was training at that higher body weight, my body with the recomp, it just everything came back right away. There was no like I was sitting at 222, 223 for that last meet every single day, so there was nothing to recomp into. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
even weighing in light, it was like a false light. All I needed was just some fluids and some carbs in me, and that was it.
Okay, that makes sense. And then you actually felt even being still 228, you probably got heavier post recomp and then you felt like fully good and under the bar. And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
so depth it wasn't really like an issue of you being like worried and not sinking them. It was just like not having the control in the bottom was the main thing.
right, right.
Okay. Interesting. But yeah, I guess like I wouldn't get it. I don't squat 800 pounds, so it's probably a little different.
I've had that feeling where it feels like your legs are just like not under you, like when you have a bad like cut or something like that, and you walk it out, you're like, okay, like where are my legs? Like
That's
it's
it.
Mhm.
not a good feeling.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Horrible.
I think just training at the heavier body weight was probably the move too. Like if you're just like sinking all your squats and training and just building that like confidence, the momentum, then you didn't really have to think about it on meet day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then even the deadlift, right? Like I think that well, that was a massive deadlift PR as well. Your deadlift is like gone from I scrolled down your page and I seen you pulling like 305 and like 315 and then now we're talking about pulling like almost 370 and like you could pull 370. What is like the biggest changes? Because as you typically like add that body weight, it'll help the squat and the bench. Sometimes like the deadlift is like an issue, but I was like, what have you done to make it kind of come together?
What we did was instead of doing two times comp deadlift frequency, we actually changed it. And we did one sumo deadlift day and one conventional day as my secondary. And that seemed to really give me that edge, which was interesting because when we started up, I'm like, all right, I kind of suggested this to John. I'm like, why don't we give this a shot? I feel because we trained it in the past where I was doing conventional with my sumo, and that kind of helped my sumo shoot up exponentially the first go around. So I was like, hey, like, why don't we try it again? And he was like, yeah, like, sure, like, let's do it, whatever. Um, and since that, it just seemed to be the best clash. I was having a lot of issues with hip tightness in general when I was doing the two comp specific deadlift days a week. So by switching that up as well, I wasn't putting so much onto my hips and it's just been a lot more manageable. So that's really it. Also, too, on my primary session day, I'm only pulling one sumo set on that day, and then everything else is just hinge work. I'm doing RDLs, and spamming RDLs has really, really helped me too. building the hamstrings up like crazy has just been astronomically amazing for my training and deadlifts in general. So
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I was gonna bring this up. I was watching another YouTube video of yours, and you're talking about the RDL. You were doing like 280 kilos for like reps. I was just like, yeah, I was just my jaw dropped. It was like
Was that
seven reps
in
or
was that in
something.
prep or is that a while ago?
off season, off
Okay, I
season.
was like,
Yeah,
holy
yeah,
God.
That's
yeah.
fucked.
No way.
Yeah. Well, it was like around Christmas time, so about like 4 months out or something, which is, I mean, it's not like prep time, but it's, yeah, I was just like blown away watching you just ragdoll 280 like that.
Yeah, yeah. You know what's funny too? Like I call it off season because I wasn't even anticipating doing Powerlifting American Nationals. So
Mhm.
at that point in time, I was like, like we're just training to get strong and just build a base. So yeah, it's really like not an off season because it is it's like almost like a pre like that time period would be like you know, um a pre-prep period, so to say, kind of getting you ready for the prep. But at the time I thought it was an off season, so we were pushing it. And after I did that set, I literally was like I couldn't even freaking walk for the next week. It was just like I regret it. I haven't pushed my RDLs like that since that session.
That's fucked
Yeah.
up. Is your conventional pretty close to your sumo then? I'm guessing if you can
Yeah.
RDL 280.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely
Okay.
like that's the thing. My conventional is pretty strong. I haven't tested a one rep on it, but in terms of just work capacity and whatnot, it honestly seems better than my sumo.
Yeah.
But right now sumo's working.
So do you only
It's
have
crazy.
one sumo set a week, like for prep? Like you said, you had one top set on the primary day, and then it's all hinge work. So were you
Yeah.
literally only doing one sumo set all like every week of
That's it.
prep?
That's
Holy
it.
cow! How do you
Yeah.
keep your like positioning or like your technique still dialed in? How do you remember how to deadlift?
So honestly, I do like a primer session. So technically I get under the bar with sumo twice a week because what I do is like on after like my conventional sets, I'll pull like 3 or 4 reds for a couple practice angles just to work that tech in. Um, Not on program. This is like off program just to keep my edge. And John's okay with that. That's really about it. I just focus on keeping that movement pattern sharp and the rest falls into place.
Yeah, because I think one thing like I've noticed as I've gained weight, Luke's built like this too. But like if you're a big squatter, you have big quads. Like a lot of people will like run into their thighs like when they're locking out. So that's the one thing I thought of is like how do you keep that like positioning so dialed in like with the one set? That's kind
Yeah.
of wild.
I
Yeah.
That's what I was worried about that too at first. I'm like, how? Okay. So now that we're chopping a whole day and we're chopping back off work, I'm like, am I gonna like lose? Like I was worried at first, but to my surprise, sometimes less is more. And it's kept me fresh. I feel good coming into my sumo set, literally set, not even a session. Um, so
Was
it's
that
perfect.
was that a single too? Like most weeks, like building up, was it just like a single each week?
We ran a 3-2-1 scheme. So how it worked is like right after my tune-up meet, we did like a couple weeks of triples, and then we did like a half the block was doubles, and then we went right into singles again, just to kind of give me like that volume and intensity back under my belt. And we kind of just cruised with singles the rest of the way. Um, Being that I pulled 804 at that tune-up meet, we knew that Dallas were in a great spot, and there was nothing really that we had to change necessarily to the scheme. So all it was just about bringing that fitness level back up, and that was it.
Damn. I feel like that shows that like the technique is much less important than just being brutally strong, like brutally strong, like posterior chain.
Right, right.
Get through it.
It sounds like what a lot of guys that pull a lot conventional would do, like just kind of one big set a week and then just chill. I've never really heard anybody do that with sumo.
Yeah, it's a very interesting technique that we're implementing here. And like I said, at first I was a little apprehensive. Not that I didn't trust John, because John, he could tell me to load 850 pounds in the week, the week going into the meet. And I do it because I trust him that much. But being that it was so unfamiliar to not have that practice, I was a little apprehensive. So
Yeah. It seems a bit scary, but I think working that hinge and like getting just the hinge better, but then obviously getting way stronger in the posterior chain is a big help. And honestly, too, with your big squats, and you do some big sets of like rep work that seem like unreal as well. So maybe the quads just like get that rest from there and like just one big set's enough. But yeah, people more so do that with conventional, but it's cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing I would say too is like you have like all your lifts obviously are amazing. Imagine though, like you have such a big squat, like near the world record, like you could probably take that down maybe like if someone made it to Sheffield, you know? But also like the bench and then the deadlift's really good and it's getting better. But imagine you said conventional feels good. Imagine in the future you make the switch and you can just pull that like a billion too. It's just so over.
Listen, that's the dream right there.
Yeah. I mean, like the deadlift's going good, so why change it? But you never know in the future.
That's what I'm saying. You never know. I may hit that roadblock.
Yeah, I mean, after this gauntlet of meets, which we'll talk about in a little bit, I wanted to ask you too, because you didn't know on like your YouTube, even like 5 or 4 months out, that you were gonna do PLA Nats. Like, what was the change about? Like, why did you go for that?
That's funny. So I messaged my coach and I was like, John, it would be hilarious if I signed up for PA Nats in a couple months. And he was like, no, you are signing up for PA Nats. Like you're doing it. You're literally so strong right now. He's like, you have to sign up. So that push just gave me like his push. That's it. I signed up for that meet as soon as he said it. We did the qualifying meet and that was it. Um, it was a very, it wasn't like you had to pull my arm, you know. It was okay, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, look how it worked out. Like, you're so
Yeah.
strong. It would be crazy. You just do like an SBD day or like a big gym lift, and you're like, whoa, wait, I could have been going to Worlds.
Right. Right. I would be,
But
you know, that's it. One decision that changed the layout for me, you know.
yeah. And if you hadn't done PLA Nats, were you going to go back into the USAPL then and just do like that kind of circuit?
I think I was going to honestly wait until like next year's Powerlifting America events and stuff like that. But and that's why, like another reason why it's like why wait? You know, like why not just do it now?
Hmm.
So that was like another factor going into it, you know. Let's just do it now.
Yeah.
Why were you on the fence like from the get-go? Did you just not feel like fully ready yet? Like that's why you're gonna train for another year, or you just
Yeah.
yeah.
I just didn't feel fully ready. Even though my training was hinting and suggesting that I was. Um, I guess you could say like a lack of confidence, so to say. Uh, like I'm not someone that is not that I'm like not confident, right? But I'm pretty humble. That's what it is. And so I don't give that to myself. You know, like if my training's going great, I could be so much better. Like this is not, it's almost like that person that's thinking about doing a powerlifting meet and they're like, I'm not strong enough yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Think like that now. So
You're like, I'm not strong enough yet. Breaks the 120 world record. Yeah.
Yeah, almost like Dots is 600 at 105. Like that's just it's unreal. That's crazy. But it's like that imposter syndrome feeling, I guess, but you're definitely not the imposter.
What was your previous best meet? Like, was it even in that ballpark or not really?
It was it was the Arnold 2024 USAPL. I hit my first 2100 total, but the funny thing about that was I weighed like 248, 249 that whole training going in.
Mm.
I was a meatball. Um so to see myself be able to push that bar at such a lower body weight and just I feel so much better sitting here.
Mm.
Um, it's been really awesome. But
Yeah.
that's probably the meat.
So back then you just kind of thought like if I cut, I'm not going to be this strong. Like you weren't sure.
Yeah, I mean like I knew that I can get to that point, but I felt that it would take me a lot longer than I anticipated.
Okay.
Um, yeah, yeah.
And because you were before that, you did your classic, the junior worlds, and you did 105, and then you were up to like 240, 248. What was the change? Like you just wanted to put on more size, or
Yeah, honestly, I just was like, okay, so we can go two ways here. Let myself just gain the weight, get stronger, and just have fun, or continuously cut down because I wasn't working with a nutritionist at the time. Like I just wasn't. So I also didn't really have it in me to commit on one yet. So it was easier for me to just let my body do its thing. Not that I was pigging out. I mean, I was, but at the same time, like I wasn't. So I just wanted my body to do its thing, just get stronger, have fun with training, and let myself have a couple extra pounds to do the thing. So that was really it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. And that time off was probably like a good little break, and then now here you are. So everything kind of works out.
Yeah.
Well, paid off
So
too.
what?
That could have been a big part, I feel like, of the big launch in total, is just spending all that time at like the really heavy body weight and just training and then cutting back down. I feel like that's what like kind of launched you to the next level, right?
I 100% agree. I couldn't agree more with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, but you look really lean and stuff still. Like even at what 231, just under there. Like you're a big guy, so
Yeah.
you had some weight to cut, but you might have put on like that extra bit of muscle when you were super big.
That's yeah, 100%. Because for 2022 Worlds, there's a picture of me and like the comparison to now, I just look so much more developed. Like there was definitely quality muscle that was added in that phase of me letting myself just do my thing. Um, I actually made a side by side of me in 2022 at 105 and now, and it's crazy. I was like, I mean, I know obviously like muscle maturity and whatnot, but it's night and day, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. And how tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
Okay. Damn, so you're tall for a power lifter, eh?
Yeah. Oh, let's go.
That's good, man. And one thing that people might not know is that you came from the bodybuilding background. You want to talk about that? Like, did you ever compete?
I did a show. Yes.
Okay.
I did a show when I was in high school. Um, and what's crazy is like I didn't know this signing up, but the show that I did was everybody else was like untested on PD. So I showed up as this high school kid. Natural. I look like I looked incredible for what I did. But I walked in and I'm like, I don't belong. I don't belong here, you know? Like, look at me versus these guys. Um, but yeah, I was in the bodybuilding scene for a while. I did just one show. That show kind of rubbed me wrong, and I was like, all right, like let me just do this for me. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, after the bodybuilding scene. So
So to put you back like in that time frame, when you showed up, when did you end up finding out that everyone was on gear, like around you, like on the stage? Or like did you not find out till later?
I was on the tanning line, and there was a gentleman that was probably like in his 40s, juice out of his mind. And so I asked him, I was like, is this federation a natural and a tested fit, like whatever. And he was like, no, it's this federation, you could just do whatever. You could show up natural if you want to. He's like, I don't recommend it. He's like, you're natural by looking at it. He's like, you're young too. He's like, no, everyone in here that you're gonna see is on stuff. So I was like, oh,
Oh, damn.
oh God.
At least you knew before you got on stage. Like at least you didn't get up there and you're like, oh shit, why are these guys all way bigger than me? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then from there, like, did you want to do a tested one and like see where you could rank up like with those type of guys, or you just like that's when you're like, eh, it's not for me.
No, I did, and I was looking around, but at the time, like being in high school, I was a junior when I did this show. Travel for me, like a lot of these shows were pretty far from where I live, the natural shows, and so at the time, it just wasn't feasible. There was like in every state but New York, it seemed like, at least in the time frame that I wanted to do it. So that was pretty disgruntling.
Hmm. Yeah, you're like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And then did you ever consider like, taking bodybuilding further and maybe using like PEDs and stuff, or like that was like a no in, from the get-go?
Big no-no.
Yeah.
Just like with my father and my grandfather. So I picked up working out in general from my grandfather. And he's somebody that has been like since I've been young, don't go on it. Like he's also a nurse, so he had like the science behind it. And not that he would like scare me away from it, but like he would educate me, and just hearing about all the monstrosities, I just wasn't for me.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, no thanks.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear because I think a lot of people, especially younger kids, getting into bodybuilding and like you find out like, whoa, everyone's on it. Like, if you don't have that kind of figure in your life to let you know, I know many people or know of many people who just hop on from a young age and it's like it's irreversible in a way. Like now you're never natty.
Yeah. Absolutely. One person that I was training with for this show actually, he was my good friend in high school too. After that show, he hopped on stuff and like it was bad. It was really bad. Yeah. So just seeing what he was going through, I was like, nah, definitely not. No way.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah, you get to see it firsthand, like the side effects or whatever, and you're like, no.
Not worth it.
Okay. So then from there you did your first show. Like, do you know how you placed there, or like was it just like not good?
There was me and one other guy in the teen division, and this guy now is a professional bodybuilder. So you
Oh
can
shit.
imagine how that went. I looked like a like yeah, it was hilarious. Seeing the side by sides, I couldn't even look at him. I deleted all the pictures because I didn't want to see. I was like, no, thank you.
That's
But
hilarious, man.
yeah, so I came in second, and obviously that's last. So
Well, man, you got second at your first show. It just depends on how you look at it, right? It's like second
right,
place ain't bad.
right. That's true.
And then after that, you went into like a phase where you just started to fall in love with powerlifting and string sports, or how did that go?
So I go up to college, SUNY Cortland, and this is like my first second week of school, and I go into the gym and I see guys that are like, because I was like bulking at this time and I was like bigger. I see guys that are like half my size moving weight that was like I couldn't even fathom thinking about at the time, on deadlifts and squats, especially. Um, and I'm like, what? Like I know what powerlifting is, but are they just going in and hitting like heavy singles and doubles and whatever? So that's what I like tried mimicking what they were doing. So I go in and I hit like a heavy single and then I'd be like, okay, let me do like like a heavy triple after whatever. And I ended up beating my body that first month of college so bad. Like I was going in and doing like the strap deadlifts and because I saw guys doing that, YOLO pulling every single day. Until I met one person who was my first coach, Luke Graham. And hey, no, Luke.
Hell yeah.
Um, and he was like to me, you have a lot of potential. He's like, what you're doing right now is just absolute madness. He's like, I will coach you. He's like, I'll coach you in powerlifting. And that's how it took off. So really going to college and seeing the powerlifting scene there, I didn't really have that in the gyms that I used to go to back at home before college. So it was like almost kind of pushed like the community was pushed onto me. I kind of like was absorbed into the community and it was nice. Um, and that's where it took off.
And what year was that? That was like 2019 or earlier?
So it was 2018, but just going into 2019. Yeah.
Okay. Damn. So you started around the same time as all of us. I love those comparisons. For me, Trevor and Kyle is all like the same time frame as well. And we're just waiting for us to blow up in total 2100. Still waiting on that part. Did you do any sports before like bodybuilding, which led you into powerlifting?
Yes. I played football and I was a wrestler. So
Oh
I wrestled
shit.
since I was like in second grade. Um, so just being like an athlete, it, it gave a really good base. Athleticism, and then you got bodybuilding, and then it's like you graduate to powerlifting. So I had an amazing base going into powerlifting. Um, but yeah, I was an athlete.
Yeah, wow. Those two sports like are great like strength and challenging sports. So I can imagine they're a great base and then you just pack on all the muscle and then here you are.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a good setup. How long did you say you wrestled and played football for?
So wrestling, I started in second grade. Football, third, fourth grade. So I did like pee wee football and whatnot. For wrestling, it was like like the kids club and stuff like that. But that just stayed with me up until high school, through high school. So
And
That's why your damn
yeah, no,
neck's so
that's
thick.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine like you step on the wrestling mat and like this guy's across from you? It's like, no.
Just fucking leave.
Yeah, no thanks.
What weight class were you when you were like finishing wrestling?
I would float around between 60 and 70. Those were like the two classes that I'd go. So 160 and 170. Kilos, I don't know kilos. Oh, sorry.
All right, that's good. So you gained like 70 pounds of mass since then, or something
Yeah,
like that.
70 pounds.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. Damn. I think I need to do a bodybuilding few years and then come back.
Do it. Run it up. Run it up. Just
So
don't do what I
you,
do.
yeah, no, I don't think my ego could handle competing in a non-tested show.
Biggest mistake.
If only you could
Biggest,
just do lower body, like wear a t-shirt, go out on
Yeah,
stage, and just flex your legs, you'd probably do okay.
right?
yeah,
Get up the
like
legs a little bit.
like reverse men's physique. It would be like the
Yeah,
best powerlifting
exactly. Yeah,
show.
only legs.
Yeah. Well, also no calves, but
Just wear long socks.
yeah, long socks. Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. No, that's a really good base, man. That makes sense. Like I like to ask any like top level lifter like what they kind of did before. Majority of the time it is like a sport that they kind of excelled at and then like switched over. But there's the odd one who comes from just like I just went to the gym, I was strong, and then that's it. Now I'm here.
Right.
Yeah. I was gonna say for the YouTube series, it led up until prep started. Are you gonna do a prep series for this Worlds or?
Yes, that's the plan. This week I'm gonna do my first video, and I'm working on a video to kind of recap Nats and just go through everything and dump some training videos and whatnot. But I was thinking to myself, I have to like I not only should I do it, like I should do it because years down the road I can come back and like watch this series as if like it was a movie or something, you know what I'm saying? Just like,
Yeah,
wow, like I remember this day. Um, so I'm gonna force myself to do it because I feel like I'd be very appreciative if I did that.
yeah. No, that's a great way to look at it. I think like everyone listening that's like a fan of yours would love to see, but even for you, like that's like kind of like the biggest point. Like you can look back on these regardless if they got a lot of views or not and be like, dang, like I remember how I was feeling during that prep, like the ups and downs and like the short turnaround. Like we'll talk about that as well from like PA Nats to Worlds, but you get to like, the outcome's gonna happen and you can see like the background story, like even like years down the line. So that'll be really cool, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You have a really good camera too, right? You have everything you need.
Yeah, I got the whole setup. I got the wide angle lens, the zoomable lens. I'm all set. I got the tripod.
Hell
We're
yeah.
good.
Yeah, so no excuses. It's gonna be
Yeah,
sick though. I'm excited to watch that, man. That'll be really cool.
right on.
Yes, sir. So let's talk about the bridge from PA Nats to Worlds because that's a really tight timeline. We were just speaking about it before we started the pod, but you're 7 weeks out as of the filming of this pod, so probably 5 weeks out when it drops or so. And then Nats was how long ago? Like 2 weeks,
I think like three and a
three,
half weeks.
4? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like
Wow.
10-week turnaround or something.
Yeah, 10 weeks.
Damn. Yeah, no, that's crazy because like Kyle was saying, it's not like a meet that you show up and win. Like you have to go crazy at it. And you put up such a big total PR. So now you have like 10 weeks, get back in shape. What's the plan with you and John, like going from, that quick turnaround?
So the goal is stay healthy, and just do the exact same thing I did last prep and really just refine. We're not changing anything. We're actually doing the same exact thing that we did. I feel that the way that we went about things for last prep set us up for greatness. So we're just kind of rerunning it. Again, like coming back, the first 2 weeks of training was really, really, really like just tough. Um, Obviously, because you're coming off a meet. Last week actually felt pretty decent. Like I'm starting to get my kick again. But it's gonna take some work. I feel like like this coming week or the following week, I should be back to normal. My diet was pretty out of whack in terms of like I wasn't eating enough my first week after Nats. After that recomp, I was just not hungry. I ate a lot of bread and I was just not feeling any sort of food coming back. So I did like a little fast like the first day and whatnot. It felt pretty good. Um, but yeah, so just getting training kicked up again. We're getting the fitness levels back up, obviously. And biggest thing is staying healthy because after putting up a big performance like that, I feel, you know, even though it was easy, if I'm pushing things, if I'm going create, like just trying to push the threshold too high, that could be really bad. So just taking week by week, session by session, and not changing a thing.
Yeah. No, it's obviously predictable. So as long as you stay healthy, you'll kind of have like a similar or maybe better outcome.
Right.
Going into Worlds, who are you looking at as like your potential big threats?
I honestly, I'm seeing every single person as a potential threat. There's always a dark horse. There's always somebody that's just going to show up no matter what their track record is. Like you can't really, yeah, you could look at that, but again, like all it takes is an attempt or, a missed lift to just throw you up or down. And even though I set a pretty good margin, Anatoly's looking really strong right now. I know that all these guys, like these top ranked guys in the 105s, they've been here before, they've done it, they've had titles under their belt, and they're hungry. Like I'm coming into their territory now. So all respect to them. Like they're guys that I've watched since I started getting into this sport. So I feel honored to be able to share the platform with them, truthfully. And at the same time, it's not going to be a walk in the park, no matter how good I'm feeling. It's got to be 100% full gas,
Yeah. This guy's humble for real. I mean, obviously they are really good competitors and they're all like really decorated lifters, but most people I feel like coming off of such a huge total would have like, of course you're confident, but have some like, shoot some jabs or whatever, just be like, I'm coming to take what's mine. But this guy's like, no, you got to respect everyone. And it's true.
Yeah.
It's just refreshing to hear.
Yeah. That's truthfully how I am. Anybody really could like attest to that. But it's the truth. I mean, these guys have been working endlessly and they're hungry too. So
Mm.
all it takes is for them to have a good day, paired with that hunger. I mean, anything could happen. So I got to come with that same mentality. Like I got to act like I'm acting like I'm the underdog here. I'm not looking at the rankings. I don't care if I'm first or 10th or last. I'm coming in as the underdog. Now they're sharing their space with me. So I'm not welcome. I'm not. But it's going to be fun. I'm really, really excited.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
not
it's
going to
gonna
do
be
the
good.
Russ Orhey approach.
Yeah, no.
Load up to like 250 and then go fuck.
How does it work for the reserves in the States? So Keenan's on there like as a reserve, but would it someone in one of the other weight classes would have to drop out essentially for him to get in?
I believe that's how it works. I honestly, I really couldn't tell you. I'm not too sure. I want to say that that's the case though. If someone drops out, then he could fill in and compete with me and everyone else. Um, but I'm not really sure. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I wish I had more
If it's
info.
similar to Canada's, yeah, if it's like one of the other men's weight classes drops out, it's like the person with the highest points or whatever gets to go in next.
I think
I,
the States uses Carpino, I think.
Okay.
Or they did like a year or two ago, I know, but I don't know what they do now.
That
yeah.
would be if they did use Carpino, I feel like Keenan would have a really good chance of getting in because the
Yeah.
world record total, he's over the world record total. But
Yes.
like if you look at points, I think the 83s would probably have crazy points. So
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Taylor, I guess.
yeah.
Well, Keenan is like the reserve because I think I've seen Taylor post a story saying like if two people drop out, I'm going to Worlds and that's what I'll do, and if not, then I'll do something else. So I think it is Keenan,
So it must be Keenan,
and
yeah.
yeah, and I assume Taylor would probably have the better dots and or whatever points, but I don't know because like what you guys did is also insane. But yeah, I don't know how it would favor, especially at that high level. We're talking about like nearly 600 dots.
Right.
It's pretty crazy.
Right. So
Uh,
I'm ready, staying
Yeah,
ready.
that would be cool too if Keenan went. Like he would be, one of the other top guys to look out for, and then you guys could have like that head to head. Should be cool.
Yes. Yes. I know he's craving it. I'm craving it too. So that would be pretty awesome to have him on there too. I feel like he should be there. That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Did you ever go against him in the USAPL or are we different weight classes?
No. So when I competed, same weight class, I was in PA at the time that he was, showing against Bob and Ash in the USAPL. I was doing like junior nats and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
PA. But then right after I came over, they all went to, PA. I mean,
Mm.
Keenan like had his hiatus and stuff like that, but
Mm.
that's when, like Ashton crossed over and everything. So I came in as they were leaving, and I was like, oh man, like, come
Dang.
on, it looks like I'm
Did you
dodging now.
did you wish like in hindsight that you had maybe competed as an open with them or like not at that kind of time frame?
Honestly, I think that it would be cool, but personally, I'm not somebody that I didn't feel ready at the time. So I think even though that switch happened, um, I think it worked in my favor. I don't think it'd be worth it if I would. Maybe it would for the experience and whatnot, but I just think it was the way it happened is how it should have happened, you know?
Hmm. Oh yeah. No, this is sick, man. For all the guys that are at Worlds, they had like Ashton come last year and then Mikey D's gone a few times. It's always like this crazy strong American. And then now they get like the version who's breaking the world record from the weight class above. Like,
Yeah.
and Anatoly must be pissed seeing that it's this guy coming. He's like, God damn. Like,
Good. I want that fire.
Yeah.
He's kind of like
Do you-
Ashton, but you bench 245, not 210.
yeah, he really is. Like I think the squat like at Worlds, what did Ashton put up like 370? You put up like around there, and then the deadlifts are pretty similar, and it's like it's just the bench separating you guys. But in the future, it'll be cool when you can go head to head with Ashton and Bob potentially, right?
Yes.
What do you think about potentially ever going up to face Bob and those guys, or is that not something you're interested in?
120. I mean, I would do it. I just don't. I think it would take me some time because I don't want to become some Pillsbury doughboy, 120. I mean,
Yeah,
120 at 5'10", like I want to be a unit, like I just
yeah.
want to be a complete unit. Obviously, I'm not saying I'm gonna come in peeled, but like I like to look like this going, as a 120. Um, this ratio would be nice as a 120.
Mhm.
So it's
Can you
not,
imagine though too? Like, so you drop 7 kilos and put 20 kilos on your total. Imagine you just drop another 7 more, you're 93 and you do 1,000.
see, I'm in this middle ground where it's like, okay, do we drop or do we go up? I don't know.
I feel like you just hang out where you're at right now though.
Yeah, yeah,
You're in a
we're
good
chill.
spot.
We're cooling. We're
Yeah.
cooling here for a while.
For Worlds, like let's say you do win, you get to go to Sheffield. Would you, I guess like it depends on how much you have to push that 105 record to. Like let's say you had to go all out against Anatoly and the other guys there, you had to bump it to something like, like 980 something. Would you consider then going into Sheffield switching, or is it like, no, I got to keep pushing that 105? Or would you be like, okay, placing for Sheffield wise, this would be better?
That's such a great question. Honestly, that's like a star question. I guess it's really going to depend on the state that I'm in. So if I do have to push that threshold up, that total higher, it's really going to come down to how I'm feeling, I guess, after and how much push I have in me after that, if I do raise the bar that high. Uh, Again, though, I am not opposed to showing up to Sheffield as a 93. I think that would be really fun. So it's not out of the question. There's thinking and thought going behind it. I'm not saying that I'm gonna do it. I'm not saying that I'm not. So if the opportunity arises, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
That would be crazy, man. You would be you would be such a unit. 'Cause like I was saying, like I mean you're sub 105 like by a little bit. I guess after the cut, but you already look like really good. And I think there's like a few deadlifts in the gym where you're shirtless. Like you're very lean, I'd say, even at 105. So 93, 5'10. I guess actually maybe something like Gustav. Like I think Gustav's kind of like that 5'10 kind of range.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think Gustav's a little taller, but he's also really lean. I remember, and also like Ashton talked about going down to 93 before. I'm like, Ashton at 93 would look insane.
I
Oh
know.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Imagine.
yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I think
Ashton's also a freak.
one of the USAPL meets like back in the day, he weighed like 95 and did something stupid like 930 or 940.
Jeez.
That's probably like 4 years ago though.
Mhm.
I
That's
think I know what
insane.
you're talking about because when you go on like Open IPF or whatever, Ashton has just like a crazy meat in there, and I think it was when he was a bit lighter.
Yeah, it was like, why didn't you cut the 93? He was like 2 kilos off or something.
Yeah,
Something
Yeah,
he was
spit
ridiculous.
that out.
I think Ashton's also willing to do that. Maybe when he gets healthy, he would, because I know he does lots of running and for like his military obligations and all that stuff. And I think he could do it. Like if you look back on his page, he's like shredded. He's 93. He's like absolutely peeled, and he looks, obviously he's put on much more muscle now, but I'm sure he could do it as well. But yeah, you guys could both go on the stage after, just like have that
Yeah.
93. Yeah.
Imagine, oh my gosh, the first battle at night, like that would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be crazy. So for Sheffield though, like if you like, let's just say like we go to Worlds and you get to put up a big total, like maybe like 950, 960 could win it, let's just say. Then going into Sheffield, even at 105, you could have a really, really good chance of winning Sheffield, which is so crazy to go from, I don't know if I'm going to do PA Nats to like potentially win Worlds and maybe be able to win Sheffield. Like it's crazy, man.
Yeah, the doors are opening.
Yeah. Are you gonna try and like just win by like the smallest margin then, or are you just gonna go out there at Worlds and just attack?
I think the plan is just to, I don't know. I think the plan is just to win, but I'm saying this now and I might go out and just, you know, lay down a crazy total. Um, I think though, like what we're veering towards is just to get the win and then save the rest of that gas for Sheffield. That would be ideal. That's,
Mm.
everything in perfect circumstances. But again, like I'm kind of keeping in mind that I'm probably gonna have to push that threshold. I feel like Anatoly's gonna bring something crazy. Um, it's just gonna be crazy.
Yeah. No, I think the way that you're looking at it's definitely the way. Like you don't want to underestimate and be like, oh, like I'll just do the bare minimum. Like, what if Anatoly has a crazy day and it's like you got to push above your best already.
Right.
So
And
yeah,
there's a
it'll
couple guys
be
in the 105s with huge, ridiculous deadlifts too.
Yeah, that's
You
what I was
can't
gonna
sleep on
say.
any of those fuckers.
It's nice
Nope.
because like you'll pull after Anatoly, so if Anatoly's gonna have like the biggest subtotal, at least you can have like the last say there. But there is like a lot of monster deadlifts in
Mhm.
the
Big time.
105.
Like
Yeah.
like my great poll is like the average. Like really, it's crazy. They're monster pullers in the 105s.
Did you see the battle at Euros with the 105s? That was a really cool one where they were
That was
all I think they
awesome.
all pulled like 370 something or I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be a blast.
What's the
yeah.
name of the taller guy? He pulls like 410 or something.
Is it Dylan or
Oh
Sanchez, yeah,
yeah.
something Sanchez, maybe Dylan Sanchez. I thought it
yeah,
Oh,
was
that
him.
sounds right. Yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah,
guy's a friggin' freak.
yeah, he's doing crazy stuff. I think he tripled like 375 or
Yeah.
something.
Conventional too. It's like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Guy is built
He's
different.
just built to deadlift.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we also got our boy Walter, who you'll meet. Walter Clarissa, is that how you pronounce it, guys? I think so, right?
Yeah.
Don't want to
Carriazo.
butcher his
Carriazo.
name. Carriazo. Okay, there you go. But yeah, he'll be there too. He's really good, and I'm sure he'll be gunning for that podium spot. And Walter can pull a house as well. It's actually
Mhm.
crazy how many people can pull like over 380 in that class.
I know. It's gonna be nuts.
105 is the sweet spot where they have a shit ton of muscle to pull the weight, but they're not like fat. Like they're
Yeah,
Yeah.
still jacked. They don't have big fat legs or anything.
Right, right.
Like right in the slot.
yeah, that's gonna be crazy, man. The other thing too, I wanted to ask you is like you're going to Worlds. I think I've heard like you've traveled a little bit, but once you go there, you're going to be looking to travel around and stuff since you'll be in Europe.
Definitely. I'm gonna stay a few days after so I can just kind of go around and venture. I'm looking into places to go. Um, so since Worlds is in Chemnitz, I'm actually flying to Berlin. So
Nice.
the plan is to probably go back to like Berlin and stay around Berlin for the last few days and just hang out. I'm still getting my list together on things that I want to go and do, but I'm really excited.
Oh yeah, man, that'll be really cool. It's gonna be very fun. How long are you gonna stay after? Like what, like 3, 4, 5 days?
Yeah, I'm gonna say about 4 days. So
Nice.
I think that's like the sweet spot, kind of move around, but also kind of get home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The nice thing
yeah,
about Europe is you could do like really cheap like train rides and stuff and just go somewhere for like a really nice day trip and then come back to Berlin as the home base. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's what I was looking to. Like train tickets are really cheap, which is
Yeah.
awesome. It's
Yeah.
great.
yeah. Even the flights there are really cheap. like in comparison. I don't know. Actually, I think in the States you guys have decently priced flights, but here in Canada it's pretty crazy to fly like within the country. But in Europe, it's like you could fly country to country for like I think when we were in Italy, I was looking and there was like flights for like $80 from Italy to England for like the weekend. It's like wow.
That's crazy. Imagine
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, I was considering it. But yeah, it would be cool, man. You gotta definitely travel. But speaking of England, like maybe you'll be back there, just a few months down the line.
Be awesome. Crossing my fingers.
Yes,
Is
sir.
Sheffield still early next year, or is that when they're moving it?
I think it's early still.
Or next year
Yeah,
they're
I
doing
think this
two
is
though.
I think
I
next
think
year's the
this
one they
year
do
they're doing
two.
two. Or next year?
I think it's next year.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, next year. Okay.
Yeah.
So he'll qualify and then it'll be January one that he'll probably do if you QT or if you win worlds. And then in November again, I think we were saying. That's pretty cool, man. You gotta make it to both.
Yes.
I think we're planning to maybe
Yeah.
go out to the November one, right?
Yeah, we gotta get
Yeah.
we
We
gotta
gotta
get
get back there.
Sheffield to fly us out
Yeah.
for that the Red Plates
Fuck.
podcast. We need
Yes.
we need tickets. We're Anthony's biggest supporters. He's been on the pod, please.
Hey, next year would be a great year to be a top level powerlifter. You get two Sheffields in 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Agato's laughing right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. About to make bread.
It's also a fucking brutal schedule though. You got to do Sheffield Worlds and then another Sheffield.
Doesn't she competes like every month anyways, doesn't she?
I think she competes every week. I
She
don't know.
loves
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, Agata
I
does
think
like 4
the
comps a year or
Sheffield is
more.
later this year or later 2026. That's when they're switching to like the bigger venue too, right? I believe.
That's-
Can't remember.
I
think
think
that's
so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure early 2026 is the last time they're doing it in like Sheffield City Hall.
Oh,
And then
Yeah.
they're switching to like a I don't know if I think it's like 14,000 seats or something like that in the new big one.
goddamn.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think
Goosebumps.
do you think that would affect you, Anthony, if you were there in front of like 20,000 people? You think like that would get to you?
No.
No, eh? It would fire you up. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
There you
100%.
go.
I'm not like I don't get nervous by crowds. I think that would just fuel some crazy, crazy aura out of me.
Yeah. Hell yeah. No, I think I assume I'd be the same way because it'd be so exciting. Like you just feel the energy. You never know,
Yeah.
I guess when you're there, maybe it's different, but that would be crazy. Imagine like you're fighting a squat or a bench or a deadlift and everyone's like screaming.
Oh
Be
my God.
unreal.
I dream about these things, man. I dream about them.
I feel like that atmosphere is the one that would power you up the most. Like I think Worlds is a bit different because it's a bit more like really high pressure. Like everyone's like it's a bit quieter. I think lately it's getting more loud, but Sheffield is just like everyone's screaming at you. Everyone's there to like see huge lifts. Worlds is more like not cutthroat, but like a little bit.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You just hear the beeper in the background. Beep,
Yeah.
beep.
Yeah, 14,000 is a lot. That's like a NHL hockey arena kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Roughly.
I think
That's
they
a
said they're
fucking lot
not
of
planning to
people.
they're not planning to fill it, I don't think. I think they were saying they're gonna section off like a certain amount of seats. Because every time they sell out, I think they want to like sell them out every year and gradually kind of like build it up. Yeah.
And plus, depending on the arena, like in powerlifting, like the stage and the platform face one way, so they probably have to be like around it. You can't do like full circle. But yeah,
Right.
I mean that's like already tripling the amount of people that can go. So, like, say if like they're cutting off half the arena, it's still so much people. That would be
Right.
crazy.
Yeah. I would have even loved to see like the Sheffield Hall or whatever, just to see like the original Sheffield venue, but it's all good. I think the new one will be sick too.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we can go watch outside. Just go outside. And just be there. Yeah. No, that'll be cool, man. Yeah, I hope you can make it there. I think like the odds are definitely in your favor for that, man. Like you look unreal.
Thank you.
Okay, so I had a question here. So you have been a very big Shrek enthusiast, right?
Oh, big time.
Okay, so I have some questions. So, which of the 3 lifts do you think Shrek would be best at?
Squats.
Squats?
No. Wait. Sorry. Bench press.
Yeah, the ogre power. He's done some
Ogre
crazy
power.
things in the movies.
Yeah.
I feel like
But what
Shrek's
about those?
build. I feel like his upper body is pretty yoked. You know,
Yeah.
It
you look at
is.
Shrek. He's just big barrel chest.
He's
But
got
those
short
deadlift
little
arms,
legs.
though.
That's
Yeah.
true.
He
Like a
kind of has a
conventional
crazy
puller.
build overall for powerlifting. He probably have the biggest total of all time.
Yeah, because his legs are pretty short, though, aren't they? And he's got that
Yeah,
bitch barrel on the front of him. You probably
Yeah.
squat a grand.
So short
Yeah.
yeah.
femurs, monster squat, just
And long
huge upper
arms.
body for the bench, and long deadlift arms.
I think he's like built for powerlifting.
Fuck.
Yep.
Need to create him somehow with today's technology. Bring fucking Shrek to life.
You know, for
Honestly, I
real.
think he's here on the podcast with us, man. Like Anthony's got those proportions.
No, like
Every
I told you, you're the original Shrek. Like I remember seeing you meme Shrek like years ago.
yeah.
And then I like people started calling me Shrek, so I stuck with it and I was like, no, this doesn't feel right. Like he's like the OG Shrek.
Yeah, yeah, you were telling me before, you're like, bro, like I didn't mean to steal your style, bro. Like I know you're the original Shrek. I'm like, bro, like I'm not I'm not jacked enough to take that title, man. It's you. But yeah, no, Shrek's the best, man. They're making the new movie. You see that?
Yeah.
Another Shrek?
Yeah. I
Oh,
think it won't
shit.
be for like 2 years or something, but or maybe like
That's
2026.
it's the one that like Shrek doesn't look like Shrek though, right?
Yeah, I didn't really like watch the trailer, but I did hear that though. Like I heard people complaining online.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. It really, really disappointed me if that's the character they're gonna stick to. He's not Shrek. He's not like diving in mud. He's like clean. He's
Yeah,
clean.
yeah.
No, I don't like that. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know why they're trying to remake all the movies like in a different like light. Like no, Shrek is all time. Like I think you could ask like maybe 10 people and like I think like 2 of them would list Shrek as one of their favorite movies at least. Like it's worldwide, you
Right?
know? Why they got to change it up, I have no idea.
I don't know, but it's disappointing. I'm pretty upset. When I saw like a little like sneak peek, I was like, this is kind of crazy. Everyone was
Yeah.
like in the comments just like roasting, just roast after roast. Like, I'm not watching this garbage. Like,
Yeah, I
Look it
mean,
up, find it. Is it Shrek 5? Is that the new one?
um, it should let me find me. I think it's Shrek 4.
Oh, he looks like lime green almost.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
like
he looks less powerful.
here he is. He doesn't look like this is not Shrek. Here, I'm gonna hold up to the camera. Let me get my brightness up. Wait,
oh
Yeah.
wow.
He looks like more
Yeah.
rounded off.
wait. It's sad. Like this is not
Oh
Shrek.
Yeah, it's
no,
like
that's bad.
soft Shrek.
Who is that? That's like who is that?
Well, hopefully they kind of take this, like, everyone just hating and they're still filming or editing and they just like make a change or something.
They better.
That'll be a shame.
That would be a shame. I'm telling you. He looks soft.
Would you consider painting yourself green for Sheffield and being the new Shrek?
Fuck, that would be great.
The right
Yo,
color of green, not this lime green.
What if I actually did that though? Like I literally just painted myself green. Like you guys like we're joking about this now, but like what if I actually did it?
I
It
think
would-
you'd
any rules
win.
against it?
Yeah,
No,
you'd win the
you'd probably
internet.
go viral too. It'd be good for powerlifting.
It would, right?
Just need SBD to make a fucking Shrek singlet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's
you're
what I was
right. I like
asking.
it.
I was about to ask, like, if you're sponsored by SBD or any company, just tell them like we need a green line. Like that's it.
Yes.
Well, it's gotta look like his tunic or whatever. Look like in the background of yours, like the leather.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah, that would be tough.
That'd be fun.
Oh, that'd be tough. I'd buy that. I get that.
So dress
I
up as
think-
Shrek, total 1,000 kilos, and then
Fucking
That's
mic
like
drop.
like
Yeah,
that's the
you
move.
definitely make a statement, man. Everyone would know your name. They'd be like, that guy, it's him.
This guy's him. He's weird, but he's him.
Yeah.
I think
the amount of
Titan makes
people.
custom singlets. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, gotta hit him up.
Yeah. I
Or
think
SBD, anyone listening.
just somebody make a Shrek singlet.
That would be dope, man. You actually kind of do look like handsome Shrek, like when he transforms, like in
Kind of,
Comes
yeah.
Women? Yeah.
He's got that jawline and the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the build. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I see it.
Yeah, he's Aki. Human Trek is pretty jacked.
he
Yeah.
is.
You're doing powerlifting coaching now. Is that like a new thing for you?
Yeah. So I've had a select few of people that I've coached um for the last couple of years. And now that I've been like really exposed, like just with my degree and everything as well, being in sports sciences and stuff like that and just human kinetics, um, I feel like I have like I don't know. I really have wanted to coach for a long time and also just um like so I went to school to be a teacher, like a PE teacher, and I'm an assistant PE teacher right now in a school. So having that like that teacher mentality and wanting to just teach people paired with my love for the sport, um, coaching has been on my mind and I've wanted to grow and I've grown over the years. John's been working with me, directly and giving me that push to do it. And I thank him for that, big time. So now I'm like fully opening the coaching.
Oh yeah, man. I've seen like you even have your coaching page. You should do maybe like some collab posts with it or something so people know. Because I think that's the biggest thing too, is like you're definitely blowing up even more like on Instagram and stuff now. So if people just kind of know that you offer coaching, I'm sure you'll get people interested, especially like I mean, you're like the way that you are, like you're a good guy and stuff. I think people will be like interested. Then you're smart and you're strong as hell. It's like you just got to plug it more, and I'm sure it'll fill up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
The
Yeah, that's good,
YouTube would
man.
probably help a lot too, because like people can kind of get to know you and your demeanor, and then it seems like a little less, I don't know,
Yeah. A
scary,
show of
but
personality.
when they're going to message you about it, they kind of have an idea how you are already.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Personality.
yeah, like the memes and stuff too, and just yeah, putting yourself out there. I do think like documenting the YouTube will be good. I mean, for you in the future, like we talked about, to look back on. But I do think a lot of people in powerlifting are looking for more people to kind of watch. Like, say when you're eating like dinner, like you're like, oh, let's throw on this video. Like Bob's videos are really funny. Like he just puts himself out there, goes like crazy sometimes. Like just talks crazy, talks his mind, and like I think a lot of people really like it. Like his YouTube, I mean, he's not active, I don't think, but I would watch it every time. Like I had like a moment, and I think the same will happen for you. And then you get more clients, and that'd be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir. I'm excited for it.
I know we talked about like you gaining all the weight for the long period of time, then cutting back down. That might have been what aided you in the big kind of like slingshot forward with your total.
Yeah.
But do you think like, is there anything else that you can think of that you guys like changed in your training? I know you're talking about your deadlift training a little bit. Like, is there anything else that you guys changed that you think really like propelled you forward?
Absolutely. We took down, so I went from 5 days a week to four, and taking away that extra day allotted a lot of extra time for me to kind of rebound, especially towards the end of the week. Um, and pulling back that day also gave time for me. Like, let's say, okay, my day four session where I do my deadlifts and bench, let's say like I'm in a pinch for time. Let me just move that to like the next day. Just giving that time has been a huge thing for me. 5 days was getting a little rough. I wasn't handling it as well as I used to in the past. And so taking it down to 4 days was huge. Um, Also too, we were playing around with like high bar and low bar in one. But bringing it back to a two times comp squat frequency was pretty good for me. And that's really about it. Other than like that big, huge weight gain and cut back, there's been like minute changes that have helped. But I'd say most of it's come from that letting myself grow and then just kind of pulling it back and doing it the right way with my nutritionist. All credit to him. I really am surprised that I didn't mention it before, but I work with Famish Coach. I'm sure some of you guys have heard of him.
Mhm.
Um, he's like completely 180'd everything for me. And you always hear people talking about like nutritionists in this sport. And I was one of those people that were like, all right, like I get it, like you're tracking your macros, that's cute. Um, but it really pays dividends. Like on days where I thought that I was eating properly to fuel myself for a lift, I wasn't. And even if I had a good lift because I carb loaded well, whatever, the crash and the fatigue that I had the next following days, just because I wasn't eating well and consistent, it would pull me back in training so hard. So having like this consistently good nutrition every single day, having someone kind of adjust to my needs was huge. Um, yeah.
What are the big things with nutrition you'd say? So you said like loading up on carbs before big sessions. Like, what are the big things that fam changed for you? Like, was it meal timing or frequency or?
So it was definitely just hitting on my carbs, proteins, and fats. I was taking a lot of carbs and a lot of fats. My proteins were I was probably taking like I did a period of time, like probably like 2 weeks, where I just tracked my meals before working with fam. And I was probably hitting like 120 grams of protein a day on my good days. Yeah.
As a bodybuilder in the past, bro?
Here's the problem. You would think, right, with my prior knowledge of or being in bodybuilding in general, like I don't know where the disconnect was and why I was just letting myself lack on protein so hard, but it was like that. It got to a point where it was that low. Um, and yeah, like those simple adjustments were just huge. But also too, like timing of meals. I wouldn't really eat in the morning. It's hard for me to eat in the morning, but just even getting like a little bit of protein in the morning has set the tone like completely. Little changes, again, like all these little changes I'm talking about are huge. They play into such big roles. So I keep saying little, but really are they little? They're not. They're playing a pivotal role. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, there are things that you can take for granted. Like you just assume I'm eating well, like I'm trying to eat to get bigger, and it's like no, like it's a little bit more like complex than that. And even just having him to remind you of these things, and now you're accountable to him, it's like just makes it happen. But it is pretty funny as a former bodybuilder that you just had like 120 protein and like I assume a lot of calories, right? Like, do you know how many calories you were eating at that time?
I was probably taking in like, around 4,000 calories a day. I was getting my calories worth, but I just in the wrong, it was just way out of proportion, man. It was horrible.
200 grams of fat. 100.
Yeah,
Literally, like I was pushing like realistically, I was pushing like 140, 150.
Oh, geez.
Like, yeah, disgusting.
what about
So
like sugars and things like that? You Were you going crazy and now you have like a better grasp on it?
yeah, definitely. I would just use Sour Patch Kids and other sweets as an excuse for my SPD days, but they turn into every day before my sessions. And as you could probably imagine, that was not good.
Yeah.
I had a real wake up call too. So before I hired FAM, I went and got my blood work done, and I had high um, cholesterol levels. So I was like, oh boy, okay, Cheerios time, I guess. But uh, yeah, that was like a slap in the face. Like besides just performance, I'm like, okay. I am 20, 24 years old, 23 years old. I, like, come on, get your stuff together. So, that was another like push for me to really start locking in the diet again. So,
So you had him for like what, 2 years now then?
almost 2 years now. Yeah. So about a year and a half, I'd say actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see like the difference like I'm on your Instagram, like the difference between like your face as well. I know you were heavier back then, but like yeah, you definitely have more of a like Giga Chad face now, like carved chin. Back then it was like a lot more puffy too.
There's like a picture of me, and I wasn't pushing out. I wasn't being silly. Like I was just walking to sit on the bench. I'm not even kidding you. My gut was hanging out like like gross. I wasn't bloated. Okay, keep in mind that this was like bench and my bloat happened on my squats. So that picture looking at it now, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's funny because it's like always when you look back on it, then you notice like, oh my God, like I was like not in good shape here. But
Yeah.
in the moment, it's like it's whatever.
My
It's
friends
just
were all like,
you.
yo, you're jacked. Like you're huge. Yeah, I'm huge. I'm huge. I'm not jacked. I'm huge.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that you like were able to hold on to so much muscle while eating like, if a high day was 120 protein, you're like having like 80 or something on like a normal day as like such a big guy. But the calories obviously help. But yeah, it's just crazy. Like during that time of being like a lot heavier, you still must have put on a good amount of muscle.
Yeah. Which is crazy. Again, like the protein intake was just so whack. So I don't know. I guess the carbs really just gave me that fault that push. I really don't know.
I feel like the big surplus of calories like has you covered, like because you're eating it like
Yeah,
inside, like you're just gaining weight, training hard. Like I feel like that accounted for it.
Absolutely. Because
yeah.
if I wasn't getting the calories in, there's no way I'd be, you know, there's no way. I'd be shot.
Yeah, I bet you if you had handled your own cut without fam and you just did like the low protein then low calories, yeah, things wouldn't have gone so well.
Mm-mm. I think I'd be hurt. I think I'd be annoyed at the sport. I
Yeah,
think I'd feel frustrated, and I would not be sitting here on this podcast. I think I'd be really reevaluating myself and, you know, not here.
yeah, that's awesome, man. It all came together. And you think you'll be in the sport for a long time, like you really love it, like it's a big passion.
Yeah, it really is. It's not like at first my family thought like it's a hobby. It's like, in college, like he's doing his meets and this and that. And not that they don't support because they support 100%. They don't realize like how much like now they do. Like now that things are really like coming to fruition, my goals are really happening now. They're seeing this passion that's been there, but it's always been a passion. I plan on staying in it as long as I can. And when I can't compete, like to where I want to be at least, giving back to the sport in the highest capacity that I can.
Oh yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I think like when we put so much effort and energy into the sport, like it's good if we give back and like you know how much it's changed your life, just how much energy you put into it and like the people you've met. And so yeah, it's good to give back too. So that's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast, man. For coaching stuff, if anyone's interested, where could they reach out to you for that kind of thing?
Yeah. So I have a page. It's called McDouble Strength. And
Yeah.
it's yeah, pretty simple to find. It's like literally a picture with a burger in the profile picture. And you could just inquire through email or DM, either way, and I'll get back to you as soon as I see the inquiry.
Awesome. All right, man. And then for sponsorship stuff, you have 110, I think, and code Shrek, right?
Yes, Coach Shrek,
Oh
10%.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Run up Code Shrek. I used to work with 110. They're a great company and the pre is really, really, really good.
Yeah.
The only reason it's like hard to get it up here in Canada and stuff, but anyone listening, if you've never tried it, especially if you're in the States, I would get some. It's really fucking good.
Hell yeah.
So yeah. Anything else you want to shout out or anything like that, bro?
Shout out to you guys for having me on. This is really fun. I really appreciate the
Thanks.
time. This is great.
Yeah, I'm glad we can make it work, bro. And one thing too, you were mentioning potentially making a trip up here. So if you do, we could definitely get some training in. Maybe go to the Silo gym. Trevor has like on a farm a Silo gym. It's like inside the silo, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Listen, I'll come up to you guys. You guys just bring me around.
yeah. Now, Anthony would be perfect for that because he benches like 550. You see like Shrek pops open the door. His theme song comes on. But yeah,
That's
it'd be
great.
fun, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. So.
absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully we can make that happen, man. But again, thank you for coming on the podcast and thank you guys for listening.